It's all right. You're recording? Hi, welcome to another live episode of the Andre the Beast Crayton Show with my co-host, the Branthopist herself, Yolanda M. Smith, back from the DR.
Woohoo! Yes, thank you. Glad to be here. Do I look like I got my tan going on?
Yeah, you got something
Is
going
it going
on.
on a little?
Yeah,
He
you got
said
something
you got
going on.
something going on. I don't know what it is, but you
But
got something going on.
So tell me how the trip was. You know.
Oh my! This trip was absolutely amazing. Seriously, I
Well,
went on a retreat.
wait. First, let's clarify what's going on. The reason that we're going live right now with Yolanda is because Yolanda is a Branthopist, and I'm very proud that she has been awarded and accepted an international speaker. So she was invited to go to the Dominican to speak internationally. Take it from there.
Okay, you're kind of right, but kind of not. Okay, so because I don't want nobody to say I'm on here posing. So I spoke internationally in Paris in March.
Okay.
But the Dominican trip was actually a retreat under one of my mentors and coaches, Spectacular Smith, who I also call my godson. So if you don't know who Spectacular Smith is, Googling, but
I've seen it on Facebook.
he used to be the
I've seen
lead
it,
singer in Pretty Ricky, or one of the singers. I don't know if he was lead or not. He used to wear a towel. I told him the other day, I said, I couldn't watch that. I had to turn that off. I cannot visualize you that way as my godson. But apparently he used to be on stage with a towel on and doing his thing. So, but we went to a retreat, and it was a great retreat because he has created quite the community of entrepreneurs. His mission is to build a million millionaires. I mean, literally, create.
Can I get Pretty Ricky's number?
You know what? That's what I'm talking about. Come on the speedboat, baby. Come on the speedboat.
Yeah.
So we went there, and it was really 2.5 intense days of retreating, and then I spent a couple days just debriefing with myself, relaxing, exhaling, that sort of thing, just trying.
Kind of like what? Did relaxing?
Yes, I actually spent a day on the beach. I had a beach massage. I got henna.
What does that mean?
Henna?
Because I don't think people know what that means.
What relaxing means?
No, that henna.
Henna. It's a temporary tattoo, which is very significant, I think, in the, I hope I don't mess this up, but the Indian and Hindu culture.
Right.
They do a lot of henna, especially for ceremonial type things and weddings and stuff like that.
I know about that.
Okay, I bet you do. I ain't gonna even ask how, but I bet you do. Anyway, so yeah, so I got a henna and did some things, but what was really profound is that this man is super selfless. I mean, he bought a lot of his very successful entrepreneurs to the mastermind to be able to give us knowledge, allow us to ask questions, and really have an opportunity to be around people and learn from people that we aspire to be like. And when I say be like, maybe not so much in their mannerisms, but one of the things that was interesting, and you'll appreciate this, is that everybody that he brought to the table had a sense of faith and a belief.
Like-minded individuals.
Like-minded individuals, but it wasn't about chasing the dollar. And this is what I tell my clients, and this is what we talk about often. So many people get hung up literally on the money and want to chase the money. But if you chase your purpose, if you don't have to chase it, live in it. Don't chase it. Let your purpose chase you. But if you can live in your purpose, live in the passion of the things that really drive you, so that you can contribute to humanity in a way that would help others, the money flows. The money comes.
It's funny you said that, because on a couple of upcoming podcasts, people are actually demonstrating that not chasing the money, but chasing their purpose.
Correct. Yeah, we did some podcasts for the season, and we've met some very significant people that believe in that. But one of the things that we even talked about at a podcast that you guys, it went live earlier today, as a matter of fact. If you caught the live podcast, so go to the Andre the Beast Crayton Show, which is where you're seeing this from.
Right.
I will share it to my link too. But there was a podcast with Earl Campbell's son, Tyler Campbell, and Tyler is doing a lot around motivation and inspiration and really.
That was probably one of the most inspirational podcasts
It was a good one. It was a
I've
good
done
one.
in a while.
I mean, I could resonate with him very,
Yeah.
very well. We had a lot of synergies in terms of and alignment in terms of how we teach. But he said something that was profound is that he took an opportunity to invest in himself, and he said, I was willing to take a risk on me.
How many people do that?
Not many, because I tell you what, even today out here and becoming more and more known for my branding work, the business strategy work that I do, because if you don't know me, Yolanda M. Smith, I am what I call myself a brand therapist and a people growth leader. I help entrepreneurs stay in business. That's one of the things I really discovered. What do you do? If I had to boil it down in the simplistic way, I help entrepreneurs stay in business. Now, how do you do that? I do that by helping them to understand the power of their personal brand.
Or changing their mindset?
You know, we do it through mindset. And then also helping them to create solid business strategies and frameworks that can sustain them. Because what happens so often is that they come up with a great idea.
And you don't follow through.
Well, they go straight to tactics. They don't have a strategy.
Oh no! Wait
You
a
see what
minute.
I'm saying?
Go back to that. That falls up under those words we was talking about. Remember?
Um,
You got to remember what it was now. Remember, you was like it was some type of word that you said, but there were letters involved in it. And some people are more of a A, B.
Oh, the bank code.
Boom.
Yeah, so when you talk about the bank code, well, we'll get to that in a minute. But the bank code, that's
I got you going now.
That's fascinating. No, but that's fascinating too. But what happens is they start out and they have great ideas. Now, unless I came from corporate, I was in corporate America for multiple decades, okay? And what I did was business strategy development, marketing, communications. I mean, I did a lot of, in terms of building relationships, customer engagement, really kind of PR work, if you will, to some degree. But the key is that when I really got out here and started coaching and started engaging with a lot of entrepreneurs, even if they had been in business for several years, were making money, they get to a point where they were stuck, didn't know where to go, didn't know. So I start asking just what to me were very logical questions.
Right.
Right? So tell me, you want to scale, what's your end game? What do you mean, what's my end game? Well, you can scale to infinity beyond, but you'll scale yourself to a position where you'll never be able to stop working, right? What's your end game? Or it'd be questions around really understanding if you're really wanting to scale or you're not attracting the clients that you want, what's your unique value proposition? What is your target audience? What problems are you solving? Because this is what we know. If you can solve a problem, you can make some money. So we don't have to focus on the money. We focus on solving problems for people.
And that's what you do.
And well, that is what I do. But it's one of those things that when I discovered that I remember having a client tell me, and I love her, and her business is very successful. As a matter of fact, based on the pandemic, she's got more clientele than she can serve. So she's got a dang on good problem. But I remember going through some questions with her, and she sat there and she looked at me. And she says, I just feel weird. I said, why do you feel weird? She goes, you're asking me questions that I feel like I should know the answer to, but I can't answer it. And yet I've been successful in business, but I can't answer these questions.
Simple questions.
Somewhat simple, but it's like this. You don't know what you don't know, because if you don't even think to ask, right?
Right.
Or you don't understand it because I come from a corporate world where it's very process system oriented. So they give you the
things that you're gonna be things that you encounter every day in the business world, corporate world.
They don't necessarily
don't
encounter
translate to me.
That's right, because you have not been in that environment.
Right.
Therefore, you don't know that these are things you should even know. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
I mean, and these are still smart, very smart people, and you learn some things along the way. Because I think one of the big things that Sensei Spec, that's what we call him, Sensei Spec. One of the things that he teaches is find your who. Don't focus on the how. If we worry about the how all the time, we would be constantly trying to gain new skills. Now, you just did a big how by setting the studio up. Let's be honest. That was a big how. You had to learn it.
How?
But you wanted to do that so that you could then be that conduit for other people. So
Correct.
when they want to record their podcast or they want to videotape something, they have a studio that they can come into. So if you guys have something that you need going on and you want a beautiful studio, as you see, this is where we are right now, you can have access to this. We rent the studio out for you to be able to do your podcast, your recordings, your shows.
And feel comfortable.
And feel in a comfortable setting.
Yeah.
But you had to learn that. So you became, so now what happens though is you did go through the painstaking, and I say that with all due respect, because it was a lot. Bless his heart. I couldn't do it. I'm just telling you right now. I don't even want to do it. But to learn this system and the things.
Yeah.
But now you will become someone else's who. They're not
I
going
got
to
you.
want to do it.
Right.
Where are they going to go? They'll pay you, the who, to do it for them so that they can sit here and do what they love doing. Because you know me, I want to sit here and talk to you.
I do too.
I'm not wanting to work the controls. I'm not wanting to understand the technology. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how you become the who. So it's that. So it goes back to helping them to put. I'm a thought partner, but really thinking about what do you want out of your business? Do you really? Why are you doing this? Because see, some people go, oh, I can make money. I'm gonna tell you, I know people in home health care don't even look like they would even have an interest in it. But what they heard is there's money in home health care. So now all these people are hopping up and setting up these home health care agencies. No shade, I'm not saying that to anybody. But I would ask you, is that something you're really passionate about? Or did you do it because you knew that there's good money there?
That's a good thought, because I've literally have talking to individuals, especially those that come on the podcast. They really don't like what they do. They do it just because it's money. And I'm like, why did you spend that amount of energy? When did they close the door? This happened for real. This is a true story. I was the fitness director at Daimler Chrysler in Twinsburg. And they make a lot of money working at the plants.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got a rude awakening. They got bought out. Nobody had a backup plan, but they all hated their jobs.
But they were staying on those handcuffs because if people tell you, this is what we tell you: go to school, get an education, come out, work a job, work at a company, get you a pension, be stable.
But you know
they
why?
never said be happy, be living in your passion. I tell you today, school is so overrated. My daughter's in college, but God bless her, she's going for a specialty. But if people aren't going for specialties today, I almost believe
School is designed. The schools are designed to do one thing: create labor force.
there you go, bingo.
They're not designed to teach entrepreneurs
No.
because. Let me
They
put this.
gonna
Let me,
teach
let
you.
me,
They gonna train you to go in to work for
let
somebody
me
else.
use this. Let me use this word correctly. Colonial America. The people that had the money, the Rockefellers and the people that invented, said, we don't need to teach entrepreneurship.
You are so spot on.
we need to teach labors.
You're so spot on. That's totally what.
And that's the brain, that's the mindset that we continuously have.
And then you go in, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working at a company. I'm not saying that. But what we're saying is, are you working within something that really excites you, ignites you? Is it a part of your passion or the skills that you're really good at, where you can at least reasonably
We
go
need
to
to
work
do a
every
survey. Let's
day?
put a challenge out on the show right now.
How many people?
How many people really are excited about
their
what
job?
they do, and how many people really wish that they would invest in themselves?
And become okay, so you can't say okay. So this is the okay. Let's do it this
Well,
way.
let's rephrase it.
We got a 1 and a 2.
Okay.
If you're truly excited about the work that you do,
Do a one.
do a 1. If you really feel like you're doing it to just provide for your family,
2.
it's a means to an end, and you're not that thrilled about it, put a 2.
Well, it's 3.
And then 3 would be if you want to explore entrepreneurship and you're willing to invest in yourself, put a 3.
Okay.
So then you can say, okay, I might be here, but I want to transition out of this because I see that there's.
And you don't have to give an explanation, because
No,
some people
no,
don't
no,
want to
no.
be judged.
No,
Yeah.
no, we're not doing that. But it'd just be amazing to see
Yeah, I'd
really
like to
how
see.
many people out there do not like their jobs. And I can just tell you pure facts. I went to Eli Lilly and Company in 2008.
No,
I worked
2007.
7 or
You went to Eli Lilly in 2007. I researched your background.
what the hell?
I researched you before you came on here.
7 or 8. Okay. Anyway, I worked there for 15 years. I left in January, so do the math, whatever. So anyway, okay. So, but when I got there, this is what was interesting. I don't know who I am, but for some reason, people like to tell me everything. I'm kind of one of those people. You feel comfortable. You can just. I guess I want you to be authentic and be yourself, right? Do you know, I probably was at that company for less than 6 months, and I had so many people tell me how much they hated their job. They grumbled, they moaned, they complained. And I was just sitting there and all like, why are you still here? What are you still doing?
But didn't that negative energy kind of like?
Well, you have to watch what you allow in your spirit,
Okay.
and then what I was able to do is sort of separate myself from that.
Okay.
Because admittedly, for probably the first 8 years, I had an excellent career there. I cannot speak highly enough about it. You know what I mean? For the first 8 or so years, but the point I'm making is that so many people, just because they were told it was a good job, it was a stable company, even though you were miserable doing what you were doing, you got a pension, you felt like you were just, we called it the golden handcuffs in a way, but you were handcuffed to stay there in that misery just because it was a good, everybody said
And
it
people
was a
like the
good job.
title, Eli Lilly.
That was crazy to me. That's just crazy to me.
General Motors, Ford,
I,
Chrysler.
I guess. You
You
know
know,
what? I'm a
the-
work for it.
the-
I'm happy. And if you look at my resume will tell you over the course of my career I had many jobs.
But
'Cause
people,
I didn't subscribe to that crap.
but people don't understand. Like the last couple of podcasts, I was solo because I knew you was doing your thing, and people was like, "Well, where's Yolanda?" And I said, Yolanda is a branthropist first and foremost.
Yeah.
She's definitely my co-host, my backbone. But the bottom line is she's here to preach how to be successful at your brand, and she's out there doing it. So a lot of people, when they don't see what you have to do to keep your craft where it is today.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I do a lot of investing in myself. I mean, I won't make any bones about it. Not all of them have been great investments. I have lost. Some people will promise you can do things. They can do things that they cannot do. And this is what I would tell the audience. When you're looking for a coach, look for what they've actually done, not what they've learned.
Right.
That's a big difference. I can sit here and tell you that I do exactly what I teach, and it has served me well.
People
You know what I mean?
You just said something that was real crucial too. You've made bad investments. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
when people make one bad investment,
They
or
stop and they don't
I'm not
wanna-
doing it no
yeah,
more.
yeah, that's a good point.
And
Great
then
point,
you
great
got to
point.
something else people don't understand too. And I do this periodically. I shake my tree from social media all the way down, and I do that for positive energy. And I realize everybody can't be in my corner.
That's a whole new little thing to think about, 'cause,
I shake it.
and you have to sometimes, because what I'm learning more and more is that just because you've had friendships for years, just because you've had these relationships for years, doesn't mean they always need to stay with you at the level that they've been with you.
Thank you.
And the key is that if you believe, and I know you do, that you become the 5 people you hang around the most,
You become those.
you
guys.
become those people. So if you hang around 5 millionaires, you're liable to be the 6th. If you hang around 5 mediocre people, you're liable to be the 6th. Does that mean throw everybody to the side?
No.
No. What that means, though, is that you've got to position yourself and cultivate your relationship so that you get in the room. This past week, when I was in the Dominican Republic, I was in the room with some amazing people. And one of them was billionaire Jeff Hoffman, a very, very nice man. Now, for those that don't know Jeff, you're like, okay, Jeff Hoffman, who is he? He first invented the airport kiosk. He is an engineer by trade. he invented the airport kiosk. He saw a problem. He couldn't understand why the lines had to be massive to be able to check into the airport, right? He invented the kiosk. Then he just had a problem trying to understand why the pricing of tickets and travel was so disparate, and how come you couldn't get a price that you wanted, and would airlines be willing to negotiate or whatever. He came up with Priceline.com, where you would name your price, and if you were willing to just take a risk and say, okay, it doesn't matter what airline or what hotel I get, but this is the price I want to pay, but you're guaranteed a certain level of quality, would you do it?
Yeah.
Super successful. And then it came upon, how do we create these bookings? Before, you would have to go through a travel agent only to book hotels and things like that. He came up with Booking.com. That's who I was sitting in the room with. And you talking about a wealth of useful knowledge. Now, heard what I said?
Useful.
You got it. Because a lot of people have knowledge, but is it useful knowledge? But he was amazing at how his thought process was. And the biggest takeaway I took from him was, do not allow people to tell you no. He said, if I had listened to everybody that told me, no, you shouldn't do that, no, that's not going to work, no, that's a bad idea, he said, I would have done none of this. None of it.
And another key factor is people have to be willing to listen.
Ooh, that came out big too. And you know what? That even goes for me, because sometimes I'm already thinking about what to say before I hear you through, and I'll jump in. We know I got that bad. We know, okay, don't. I just admitted that vulnerability to you. Stop it. We know I'll do that. But it is. I'm learning. And that was one of the key things that came out of here too. You know, and even our guest earlier today talked about it.
Yeah.
If you can really cultivate the art of listening,
yeah,
you will learn so more just by listening. So it was nice in some instances. Yes, you wanted to ask your question because it was important to do that. You got an opportunity to be in the room. But to sit there and listen to these business owners, these entrepreneurs, that one guy had 21 businesses. Another guy had started his business and built his real estate empire in a very short time to over $10 million. I mean, this is in a short time, just doing some things and following what your coaches will tell you to do. So you sit there and listen, and you take this information and then you action on it. The odds are you could be pretty successful.
Did they tell you, did you learn what are some of the reasons that people don't succeed? The main 4 reasons or the main 3 reasons? Because there got to be, we know one you just said, which is don't be listening to everybody says don't.
Well, I think well, people don't succeed for, I think, various reasons. I would have to really think about that, because nothing necessarily jumped out at me. I just asked the question about, give me a time where you weren't successful. And it was something he did, which is interesting because he actually had an online store where you could come shop online, but it was before its time. And so ended up, people looked, but they didn't purchase. They were scared. They weren't comfortable with the credit card being. Look at Amazon now. I was like, holy grail, you were the Amazon before there was an Amazon.
Some things happen before
Is
their
that
time.
crazy?
Yeah.
But it can happen before its time.
What did you learn? What did you take away from your trip to the Dominican that you go, this is mind blowing? 2 things that you took away from that your trip there, the meeting. From what you already know.
I think one of the biggest things I took away, and I'm a big proponent of mindset, but I think what I really did take away is that I can do whatever it is I really want to do. I came back with a belief that I will be extremely successful in doing that fear left. Any fear or doubt I had about it, because we're human and we will have anxiety or some fears about if we will succeed or not, or what will people think about you or whatever. But I left there with a compelling belief. As long as I believe it, as long as in my heart I believe it, as long as I have faith and I can put my trust in God and surround myself with the right people, I'll be okay. That was huge for me.
You know what? I noticed you was over at Dominican. I didn't get a shout out or nothing.
To where?
social media. Hey Dre, what's up? You know, I'm like, dang, you rolling like that? You know,
I didn't shout out nobody.
I know. I'm like, hey, I'm your partner in crime. What's up, Dre? You're like, okay, I'll get you when you get back.
Oh my God, that is so bad. Okay, I'm gonna do better.
Yeah,
Because you know
okay.
what, I really could have did some things for the show over there. I thought about that after the fact. I said, you know what, we could have went live on. I could have been on Zoom,
Yeah.
right? And we
Yeah.
could have did a live show
I
from
don't
over
want to
there.
talk
And
about it.
that,
I don't want to talk about it.
but this is just the beginning, baby. We got there's many more travels to come. But you know what? But again, it's sort of putting yourself in the and to think outside the box, think big.
Think big, be big.
Yeah, think big, you know, and so we work off of the be, do, have principle, right? If you know that there is someone that has already gotten to where you want to go, pay attention to these people, study them, learn them. That was another key lesson.
You know what was so funny? The show we just did. What did your boy tell you?
Ooh, that I got to go out now and be the advocate.
No, Tyler. What did he tell you? He said, "Oh, I already researched you."
Oh, I know.
Yeah, he was on his A game, and I was like, "Wow, that was an impactful show."
Well, put it this way: if I'm going on anybody's show, I would do my research because you know what, you just can't be associated with any and everything.
Right.
You have to, and that was another. Okay, that was another key learning too. You want to make sure that whoever you are engaging with, because I'm going to build this community. Let me just tell you what I'm doing. I'm building my community. I have people that I've supported, have followed me, have whatever, but I'm going to build a more formalized community. It's going to be called Brand Builders Academy. I'm excited. You just heard it here. That's my first announcement of this. Brand Builders Academy.
How much is it costing me to
And
invest right now?
It's going to cost you $15,000
Okay.
for the year. That's
Okay.
not a great value investment for what you'll get.
Okay.
But with Brand Builders Academy, we want to give people a safe space where they can really vet through ideas, where they can have an opportunity to learn from not only me, but the people that I surround myself around. That's some key stuff.
That's some key. That's
I mean, imagine sitting there and I give a session where I bring in the guru of social media, Spectacular Smith, and he sits there and trains you for an hour. You know, or I have the opportunity to bring in other people because I build relationships to really show you what today we might want to talk about from the business standpoint, finances. We might want to talk about social media one day. We might want to talk about operations.
100%
I got
with
a
that,
bad
yeah.
girl, Spectacular's partner, Jamie DeSosa. She is bad to the bone. I'm talking about she is an integrator on steroids.
And see, we just talked about that with a show after the Tyler show where we have to understand future generational wealth. And generational wealth isn't how many coins is in your pocket, but how many coins you move while on the clock.
Okay. Okay. And then how do you set it up? So
Right.
generational wealth could be passing on knowledge.
We just saw
Look at that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
passing on that knowledge. I mean, Tyler said it best. His dad was a communications major. His dad had that gift of speech. Now, he was a famous football player, so he didn't utilize that. But the fact that he saw that gift in his dad and his dad passed that gift on to him, he's now using that as a best-selling author and running on the radio show
impressed
and
with it.
speaking.
Yeah.
And speaking. And so you can take these gifts and pass some of your gifts and your talents even and pour into your children. Which part of generational wealth? Yeah, it's one thing to leave the legacy of money, but how about leaving the legacy
Of you?
of you as an individual? But not only that, embedding in them those ownable assets. Ooh, ownable assets. Those are the things that will be inside you that you can use to define yourself that nobody can take away from you. Because at the end of the day, they can take a title away. You are not your job title. So how do you then align to the things that truly define who you are? What's your superpower? What's your expertise?
I was thinking about the D.L. Hughley joke when he said the guys go to work and they get fired and they tell DL said they tell him, oh well, you're fired too. He goes, oh, I'll be back in a minute then. He go gets a gun. You have to. I think people don't understand it until these things actually happen to them. and don't really understand. You have to find your greater purpose. We all have a purpose here.
It's big.
And
God pours into us our gifts and our
Are we
talents.
speaking universal spirit right now? The last few minutes.
It is what it is.
That's what that thing is on your hand.
My
See, I didn't want to go there
absolutely.
with you with it, but that's what it is. Yeah, I know about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But again, and the other piece of it is what type of energy do you surround yourself with and that you allow into your space? That's critical as well. So it's all these things, and I don't want to just belabor it here and make this all about the branding and the things like that. But these are things that if people really hone in on and focus in on, you will find that your life will be so much more enriched. You will be doing things that are so purposeful and intentional that I'm living my best life right now. I'm telling you,
I know. That's why we had to have this on here and say, okay, we're giving you a few minutes. Before
it's just been crazy. I've been traveling like crazy. I've been speaking on platforms.
But you came back and
what did I do?
You went to the James Jackson concert. That's what I'm talking about.
Control.
How was it?
OMG. I'm telling you, that concert was off the chain.
Where was your seats? Where you sit?
Well, you already know I don't play.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I was in section. It wasn't my best seat ever.
Geez.
Let me put that way. I was in section CC, which was a little off to the left.
Okay. Were you guys at the Palladium?
But it was at Ruoff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the former Verizon
the Music Center.
Yeah, the Music Center. But I was in row R, so it was not a bad seat. That's a pretty good.
That's a pretty good seat.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad seat, and she
saw you.
Ludacris was he performed. Luda came out and did his thing, boy. I like me some Ludacris. I mean, he did his thing and move, get out the way. and then Janet came out and I think she did a remarkable job. I think that people. The expectations of some people just amazes me. Oh my God, she's taking too many breaks, or she's doing this, or she's doing that. The woman's 57, 58 years. I don't know how old she is, but somewhere around there. She was still getting the moves
still can do the moves
and
perform.
I mean, she put on a great show. I mean, and it kind of got a little soft in the middle, but baby, when she came back out on that next half of it, I'm telling you, she knocked it out of the park on that ending. She did Rhythm Nation, she came out hard. Girlfriend got it going on. I ain't mad at her. Okay, hats off to JJ. She did it. She did the damn thing. Yes.
Well, with all
and that place was packed.
What do you mean packed?
It was packed.
What was about the age group? What was about the age group, roughly?
Phew. I think it was all over the board.
I
seen old people. I seen young. It was all over the board.
Okay.
I mean, because she's pretty timely. Now, you know what's interesting? I asked Maddie if she wanted to go. Nah, I don't think she wasn't interested. But I know that my cousin, she took her son, and he's, 15, 16?
Really?
And he went. He admitted he didn't know a lot of the songs.
Where did Maddie's ticket go to? Who snatched her ticket?
I was just curious if she wanted to go when I bought a ticket. I took my girlfriend, Janice. Janice, shout out to JJ. Janice.
Let me repeat the question because
she's getting ready to have a birthday.
Oh,
Her birthday's on the 9th.
Is that why she went?
Yeah, I took Janice for a birthday.
Okay, that's why she went, because it was a birthday?
Yes.
Okay.
She flew in for it. She's here right now.
Oh,
She's
okay.
probably mad because I've been podcasting since noon, and here it is. What time? 5 something? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that said, we're gonna cap off. Glad you're back. I'm really glad you're back. Excited to be back. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast.
Guys, enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah.
Safe barbecue, the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
This has been the Andre the Beast.
Crayton. Show.